Growing concerns about the deadly coronavirus officially hitting the U.S.
The coronavirus. The World Health Organization says the risk of the virus expanding worldwide is now classified as very high.
Now the Democrats are politicizing the coronavirus.
Death toll continues to rise.
In California, hospitalizations are up almost 250% in the last month.
There really is not an end.
Gradually, I was able to make out some words like, why are you Chinese people killing everyone?
Basically chanting, virus, 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 bitch.
Prolonged heatwave in the Siberian Arctic this year is unequivocal evidence of climate change.
From the Earth's tallest peaks to the ocean floor, scientists warn no part of the world will be spared from the climate crisis.
California nearly wiped off the map.
We are also going into the future where we have a sort of new human renaissance.
This is where the future became a place.
Welcome to Earth 2. This morning, I'm feeling annoyed. I heard the news, it filled me with joy. Whether you're hard at work or hardly working, know that dance will always be informing. Cheryl, we've got Frankie to make the best team. Truly, they're here every morning at Gans.
Hello, this is Cheryl Goodman.
Frankie Dartmouth for the Global Associated News. We know things feel hopeless right now. With the latest regulations, we don't have an idea of when or if things will ever go back to normal.
I don't know about you, Frankie, but I could really use a vacation. Just escape reality for a little while.
Well, maybe today's guest has some ideas.
Last week, we reported that the new and innovative tech company, Genesis, made history with their first reality sim, Earth 2. New developments suggest that their system is undergoing beta testing and is in the process of receiving certifications to allow them to test their sim with human subjects.
How exciting. Today we have Tammy joining us, remotely of course. Tammy, a representative of Genesis, has joined us to discuss this virtual Earth 2 world.
Thank you for having me. I'm very excited to be talking to you all about the future of virtual reality.
Welcome back, Tammy. The last time we spoke, the beta testing for Earth 2 had some really outstanding results. The first 100 test subjects have been in the sim. Am I saying that right? Sim?
Yes, Frankie.
They've been on Earth 2, in Earth 2, Well, they've been there for over a month. How's it going?
They have. Things are going very well. We currently have a 99% survival rate, which is very promising. I can't say enough about our leader, Noah. This is his brainchild, and it is his vision for the future that saw this divine solution.
So exciting. Now, what exactly is Earth 2? I mean, I know it's a simulation, but can you describe it for our viewers?
Well, since this world is becoming more and more uninhabitable,
more toxic than our work environment, am I right, Frankie?
You got that right, Cheryl.
Well, our solution is to live in a new world, a better world, Earth 2. You could be anywhere and experience any given feeling or setting at the snap of a finger. It will change the world. More specifically, it will save our world.
Hi, Tammy. What am I looking at?
This is a photo of our latest model of the pod.
This is the pod where citizens are being logged into Earth 2?
Exactly.
I see this pod is filled with water. How will we breathe?
Well, Frankie, it's actually specially designed plasma to keep all of our citizens safe. Similar to a sensory deprivation tank, this plasma will ensure your physical well-being remains preserved. They'll have a breathing tube, and wires will connect you to the virtual world, where you can live happily with all the technology your heart desires. This technology will be easily accessible in your room of screens, where you can interact with other humans in the simulation.
What will this interaction look like? Have people out here been able to communicate with people inside yet?
They have. In fact, you're doing that right now.
You mean?
That's right, Frankie. I'm coming to you from inside my pod in Earth 2.
But you look so lifelike.
Well, that's because I am alive and well. While my body rests in deep slumber, my brain is able to log on and speak to all of you through this virtual portal.
That's insane. I just have a question. How do you pee? How do you eat?
Oh, my body is being well taken care of by our incredible staff of frontline volunteers. And I can assure you, while the rest of you join us later this month, you'll all know the joy of a well-structured and safe existence. Earth 2 will prevail where Earth 1 failed.
Decided to prolong your stay on Earth, so I'm sure you've seen abject horror. Leave behind the worries of the old world. You're safe now. In Earth 2, there is no hunger or starvation, no violence or unrest. This world is built to serve your every whim, and from here on, you will be as happy and comfortable as can be. For organizational purposes, all of our citizens are categorized by color: purple, white, green, blue, and yellow. Your color is your credit range, all based on your previous lives on Earth. Don't worry about where you start out, folks. Earth 2 is built to encourage social mobility based on a simple merit-based system. We project that in 50 years, everyone in the simulation will have a purple ID. Based on your color, you get unique access to amenities and resources within the sim, like our sensory experiences, which include swimming, sailing, and incredibly lifelike eating sims. With the blue ID, you can access my favorite activity: dinner with an AI portraying a famous figure of your choice. Every day, our scientists work tirelessly to make a perfect world. Where you come from, perfection is unattainable. But in our coalition, it is within our grasp. Our divinity, the Savior Noah, once told me that perfection is an agreement. We here at the head offices all agree to serve you nothing but the best. but you must agree to be the perfect citizen. Upright, just, participatory, and cooperative. Many of our bleeding edge programs need you. Yes, you! Participation in our trials can provide you with access to extreme luxury entertainment experiences that may be beyond reach in your current social tier. What a deal! If you want to explore our wide selection of utilities, you can earn points for new experiences by demonstrating your loyalty and commitment to our community. We have awarded points for excellence in community policing, software design, and dedication to the divinity. Just as we reward our perfect civilians, we have necessary structures for our subpar citizens. Sector 42 is our rehabilitation sector, where those who need to can relearn our values. Not that I'd expect to see any of you there. You can all access your identification tab in the upper left corner of your screen. I so hope you all have a wonderful first day of the rest of your life here on Earth 2. The simulation itself can answer any of your questions, and your ID will tell you exactly what you can and can't do. From Noah and I to all of you, welcome!
I have officially made it into my pod, and it's really not that different from my office at work. I usually just stare at a bunch of screens anyways, so I'll be fine. The world is practically in pieces, so if they say I'll be safer staying in a pod, I really have no problem living in one. I mean, it's actually really neat, but it all comes down to safety at the end of the day.
Day one of who knows how many. My pod is nicer than my studio apartment, so that's something. There are so many screens and buttons. I've just been aimlessly scrolling through all my virtual options. I figured out how to access the music library, but I don't know how to search. I'm stuck on that one channel that plays really annoying nursery rhymes. You know, I thought I'd be able to see my family, but not yet. I mean, I haven't met anyone yet, but I will soon, hopefully.
I can still sit next to James in school, except there aren't going to be seats, I guess. But maybe I can pin his video and privately chat with him. Also, my best friend Alyssa said she was going to send me an email as soon as she got to her pod, but she hasn't said anything.
Anything can happen here. I can talk to and eat dinner with my family who used to live miles away. I couldn't be happier, really. You know, things were getting really boring in Kentucky, where my only source of joy was the Walmart down the street. Well, now I can be surrounded by the ocean waves of Bali or the pyramids of Egypt.
Unfortunately, as an influencer, my job is kind of up in the air right now. Because I don't really know how many companies exist here, nor if they want to sponsor me. How will I even shop? I think I'll need some time to figure out
everything I've ever wanted is coming true. New room, no family, no rules. My life will be so much better here, especially after the big fight I had with my parents last week. Now I can relax all day and get away from them. Look, they're calling me now.
Ignore what I said earlier about not wanting to participate in testing. It's actually a great way to give back to this community and the divinity. First impressions are everything, and you have to start strong here.
Thank you for all having me here today. The preliminary reports from our new sectors have returned, and our technology is functioning like a well-oiled machine. Well, I suppose it is a well-oiled machine because it's a machine. Sorry, not a time for jokes. 494 of the 500 new sectors are yellow level sectors, so our statistics are slightly inaccurate as our data entry personnel don't seem to like spending time in yellow too much. However, I think we have a pretty good picture.
Esther, sweetheart, how about you start with the engagement stats and get to the gist of it. I'm sure we're all hankering to get home to the wine sims after working so hard these last few days.
Thank you, Miss Sally. The engagement rate is extremely impressive, especially for first-time users. Thanks to Sally's emphasis on social mobility and her welcome speech. A genius move, by the way. But what worries me is that some of our residents in yellow are already approaching the point distinction between yellow and blue. I'm just wondering if the server could handle an influx of rising citizens.
Doubt the server's capability? I thought you would understand the intricacy and brilliance of my of Noah's technology. What with the child in the engineering internship program?
Oh, I do understand up to the best of my ability, and Sage loves the internship. She really idolizes you, Mr. Crowley. It's just the sim wasn't built for the kind of mobility we're promising these people. If too many people reach blue, the server will pass its limit, and
There is no limit. This world is made better than the old one. There is no overpopulation. There is no lack of resources.
Crowley, please. Esther is misguided, but she only wants the best for our citizens, just like us. Now, tell me, Esther, will it be you at our offices changing IDs from yellow to blue?
No, Miss Sally, it would not be me.
I see. Then I don't understand why you're so worried about the issue. It seems it's not your responsibility.
No, it's not. I'm sorry.
That's okay, my dear. Your heart is simply too big for its own good. Just remember, a clock only turns when each cog and each gear spin just as they should.
Thank you, Miss Sally.
Silver, your office manages cross-sector travel, doesn't it?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you foresee an issue with the overcrowding of the blue sector?
No, ma'am. Points alone won't turn yellow IDs blue anymore.
What do you mean?
The new accords have been published. Article 732A, the No Place Like Home clause, states that to retain balance between sectors, access points will be used for luxuries instead of sector transfers.
But in your speech, you said that Earth 2 was built for social mobility, Miss Sally.
The new accords were published after I spoke. I had no way of knowing what they would say.
Shouldn't you give another speech? It's like you lied.
Esther, is it your place to schedule my speeches?
No, Miss Sally.
Is it your place to write the accords?
No, Miss Sally.
Is it your place to question them?
No, Miss Sally.
I thought as much. The clock has to turn, my dear. Spin your cog only as you're meant to.
Yes, Miss Sally.
Well, it looks like things are running smoothly. Thank you for that illuminating presentation, Esther. Now why don't we head back to home base and start our weekend recovery? Give yourself a virtual hand, folks. It's been a job well done. Welcome back to the Global Associated News Station. I'm Frankie.
And I'm Cheryl. We would like to welcome our two new news anchors, Gordon Collins and Riley Parker. These amazing citizens were appointed directly from our government.
So, Riley and Gordon, do you have anything to report from our bright government team of simulation engineers?
We have so many incredible new members recently entering the simulation.
Yes, and remember, if you follow our rules and serve as a model citizen, even you can move from the yellow tier to the blue tier eventually.
As long as you comply with our suggestions, you are sure to live a successful life in our world.
That's great. However, some citizens have reported glitches within their pods. Do you have anything to say about this?
What Glitches. There are no glitches in our perfect society. Trust us, we have built a foolproof world full of luxury where flaws are non existent. Any complaints about glitches are lies, and those citizens will be firmly punished.
Don't defy the simulation. Our perfect world inside of Earth 2 is a safe space for good citizens, so don't be a bad one.
And you're sure all this information is true? This is what you want to tell the citizens. I've also experienced some glitches in my...
And on that note, I believe that it's time to end our news update for today. I'm Gordon Collins.
I'm Riley Parker.
I'm Cheryl Goodman.
And I'm Frankie Dartmouth. Thank you for watching the Global Associated News Station.
And remember,
when Earth 1 failed, Earth 2 prevailed.
Today we'll be discussing your future careers and roles in Earth 2. As natural-born students in our purple tier, you have a wide selection of options available to you. We'll start with a little personality quiz that will guide you towards Earth 2 roles that fit you best.
My mother already told me that I'm going to follow in her footsteps as a chief branch executive, so there's really no need.
Yeah, chief branch executive of the scum from Yellow!
Better than your dad's role in the rehabilitation sector.
Okay, how about we go into individual breakout rooms to distance ourselves and focus on the quiz. I'll open them now.
Hello? Is someone there? Your video isn't turned on. Hello, Sage. I have information that you'd like to see. You can't really believe that everything is perfect here, do you? Especially after you saw that glitch last week? All you have to do is give me a call and I'll tell you what I know. Miles. Information, what do you mean? Huh. That was weird. I don't think that was for me.
Hello, 8341. Thank you so much for participating in our study. We're glad to have you.
Hi, you can call me Miles.
Okay, 341. If you could pull up your external toolbar, we're going to quickly tap into your transmitter so we can study your sensory apparatus.
Okay, 341, we're going to run you through a simulation we designed. You can just relax, we will be monitoring you the whole time.
System ready?
He's ready.
And go.
So, 341, what did you think?
It's kind of lame.
All right, I think 341 may need a little break. You can head into our nice virtual pasture. Well, he didn't end up having a spike in heart rate. He almost looked bored.
His sweat glands didn't excrete any moisture either.
Yeah. Okay, can you pull the visuals up?
Let's increase this inclination by 10%.
Yeah, the loop needs a wider diameter. If this was real life, he never would have gone on the ride in the first place.
One last thing. Okay, let's bring him back in now.
Whoa, those cows look so real. They were so good at singing.
Okay, we are about to put you back through this roller coaster again. Sit tight while we connect you to your transmitter.
System ready?
He's ready.
And go.
Was that better, Miles?
Totally. It felt just like a real roller coaster. That was kind of crazy.
Perfect.
Can I go again? Oh, please, can I?
Hang on, just a minute, 341. We need to take some notes.
Well, then can I go back to the cows?
Sure.
Well, his heart rate increased and his endorphins doubled, almost the exact same would on a real roller coaster.
Perfect. The more this world feels real to him, the more he will truly believe it is the only world.
If he believes it, more subjects will believe it. The more subjects that believe it, the less opposition there will be for the divinity.
I'll bring him back.
Wait, let's run one more sim. Keep everything the same except the speed. Increase it by 15%.
Okay. Increase by 15%.
Excellent. Okay, bring him back in. All right, 341.
Miles.
341. We are going to run one more test on you.
Yes.
Let me just reconnect him to the system.
Then ready?
He's ready.
And go.
God. Oh my God. Oh my God. What the frick?
What's the matter? That one was faster and steeper than any real roller coaster.
It was too much. I think real roller coasters get the balance right, but that felt like it felt fake.
Miles, why don't you head back home? I think we're done for today.
We should erase our data from this session. It never happened.
And erase that simulation.
I'll talk to citizen management and get 341 disconnected from the media server.
Do you really think that is necessary?
Better safe than sorry. We don't need him getting a big mouth.
Psst. Hey. Remember me? From the school thing?
No.
I sent you the message. I'm Miles.
Oh. Hi, Miles.
Hello? I need to show you something. Take a look at these titles.
Mind control codes? How to unplug? Guide to filtering information? Miles, what are all of these? Are they really true?
Yes, they include the government's plans that have allowed them to completely control our lives and keep track of everything that we do.
I don't see what's so bad about that. I mean, I lived my whole life inside of the simulation and I haven't had a problem with it. Plus, with the government's technology, shouldn't they be able to provide for everyone?
They should, but then people wouldn't do any work to level up. And remember that glitch you saw? That was the yellow tier and the prisoners in Sector 42. Those are real people.
That stuff was real? I thought I may have just clicked something that brought me to some movie. That's awful. I can't believe people are forced to live like that.
So now you see why it's important for us to shut down the simulation forever and regain our freedom.
Okay, I think I understand, but what does any of this have to do with me?
Well, you were the first person to be born inside the simulation, right?
Mm-hmm. Wait, how did you know that?
I have my sources. And do you have any like a birthmark that might look a little unusual?
I think I have this little mark on my arm. Is that unusual?
That's it. That's exactly what I'm looking for.
And why exactly are you looking for a strange birthmark on me? Not to be rude, but that's kind of weird.
I found this file from 17 years ago. It states that when you were born, the government stashed the only codes that could override the simulation system within you.
What? That's ridiculous. Why would they put codes that are so important inside of a child? That makes zero sense.
Just listen. They anticipated that one day,
people will find out the truth of the simulation, and they will want to rebel. They'll want to end the simulation completely. And though it's pretty difficult to gain access to the government files, unless you have special job permission or connections, it's not entirely impossible.
So, what do we do?
I propose that we hide the codes where no one would ever think of or find. In a person. And better yet, a child. We have control over the birth of children now that everyone's been plugged in. So, if we can just find someone who's currently pregnant, preferably someone who'll be in labor soon, we can quickly transfer the data to her child, and then we can hide
the override codes within their programming. God, I am a genius, aren't I, Crowley?
Yes, Your Divinity. I have the perfect candidate right here. Her name is Esther, and based on her current state, our systems predict that she's about to give birth to the first simulation-born child very soon.
Well, what are we waiting for? Let's get this chip into that kid.
Wow. So, if all of this is really true, then you need me in order to override the simulation?
bingo. But I know that you probably won't believe my word alone, so I want to take you somewhere where you can meet the others in the rebellion and hear about what we've planned, should you choose to join us.
It's worth a shot, I guess.
Really? Yes, that is great. Okay, so meet me tomorrow after school, and I promise you won't regret it.
Okay, but one more thing.
Shoot.
I like my life how it is, and I want to help you with your goal so that other people don't have to suffer and all, but will my life be the same when we're out of this?
I can't promise that it will. But I haven't seen any proof that says it won't.
And if we succeed, then what?
Go back to Earth 1.
But people may still suffer even in a different world. Then all of this would be for nothing, wouldn't it? What's so great about Earth 1?
You'll find out everything you need to know tomorrow, once I can introduce you to the others. I'll see you then, okay?
Okay.
Thank you all for coming to the monthly tier reevaluation. I'm sure you've all been perfectly upstanding citizens this month. Before we begin, is everyone here part of the blue tier?
Yeah.
Wonderful. If your point totals are particularly impressive and you think you could level up to the green tier, please sign in and I will meet with you individually.
Hello, Miss Sally. I feel especially confident with my point total this month.
Good. And what is your ID number?
It's 59D29.
I see. It looks as you've been an active participant in our simulation testing.
Yes, ma'am. I spent 48 hours in the hurricane simulation just last week. I'm hoping to level up, set an example for my family, and provide new food sims for my young daughters, Trinity and Hope.
How very kind of you. Let me take a look at your records.
Well, what is it?
Oh, It seems we have a problem. Your point totals are certainly higher than they were, but I'm afraid they're not enough to move up. Next. Hello there. What is your ID number?
Miss Sally, thank you so much for meeting with me. My ID number is 7M397.
Wonderful. I'll take a look.
I've been working so hard as a volunteer guard in the rehabilitation sector in hopes of gaining the new music variety in the green tier. It's been so long since I've heard anything other than the papacy.
Perfectly understandable. It must be exhausting to surround yourself with those no-good earth criminals. Looking at your reports, however, it seems as though you may need to wait a few more months and check in again.
I've been checking in for the past 2 years now. I've been working nonstop. How could I possibly not get promoted yet?
I'm going to have to ask you to leave.
I'm not leaving. You have no idea what it's like in the lower tiers, and this is not freedom. You are ignorant and selfish and privileged beyond what you—
Is quite enough. I think this kind of back-talking shall result in a demotion.
What? What do you—
I wish you well in the yellow tier. Next. Hello, Esther. Perfect timing. I need you to update the blue tier statistics. I just had to demote someone.
Of course, Miss Hallie. I'm on it. Oh, hi, honey. How was school today?
It was fine, Mom, but listen, I need to tell you something important about Earth 2.
Important? Oh, well, before you do, say hello to Sally. I'm sure she'd love to hear too.
Oh, hi, Sally. Well, I think I've forgotten. School has been wearing me out. I'll maybe tell you at dinner if I remember.
Of course, honey. How about we go get some virtual massages tomorrow to relieve some of your stress?
That sounds amazing, Mom. I'll see you tonight, right?
As soon as I finish these reports. Love you.
That was nice.
What?
Sage. It's been a while since I've seen her last. I remember when she was born.
Oh, she really is a blessing. I don't know who I would talk to if she wasn't here in the simulation with me.
Of course. You keep working on those numbers. I think I'm going to check in on our other executive departments.
Welcome back to the Global Associated News Station. I'm Gordon.
And I'm Riley. You may notice that two of our news anchors are missing. Unfortunately, Frankie and Cheryl have been demoted from their news positions due to disloyalty to Earth 2.
However, don't worry, folks. Riley and I are devoted to bringing you completely accurate news.
Hi, I'm Cheryl.
And I'm Frankie. Welcome to the Herald. There isn't much time to explain, but we started our own news organization.
Our old news organization was taken over by government propaganda. We were no longer allowed to report the truth, only what the power allowed us to report. The two of us at the Herald are truly devoted to bringing you completely accurate news.
Cheryl and I have become aware of several flaws in this perfect society that are causing harm to the people of Earth 2. When we attempted to share these revelations with you all, our former colleagues Gordon and Riley kicked us out of the Global Associated News Station. Gordon and Riley are agents of the people who are attempting to control the citizens of Earth 2 and are committed to keeping the truth from you.
In recent news, many of our shining citizens have been promoted to their next tier. There has been an influx of citizens rising from blue to purple. We are so proud of our exceptional citizens that exemplify the perfection the coalition strives for.
Wait, what? My husband has been trying for years to move to the purple tier. All of his friends have too. In fact, I don't think I've ever met a single person who has successfully moved to the next tier. There's always been some little caveat in the way.
What are you doing? Stick to the teleprompter.
I'm sorry. I don't know what's come over me. I'll get back to the script.
Good. Why don't you drink some coffee? I think you might be a little tired.
That's a good idea. You're probably right.
And just a reminder, folks, Riley and I are shining examples of the social mobility we encourage. We are both plucked out of our old tiers and promoted here to exemplify model citizenship to you all through the news.
That's also not true. We were just hired by Noah to spread his message. Remember? He told us to bury any news stories that had to do with people being unhappy.
Ignore her, folks. It looks like Riley here took a few too many wine sims before we filmed today. Don't listen to anything she says. Riley, seriously, drink your coffee.
And why were Frankie and Cheryl fired?
Unimportant. Remember, you too can rise the ranks of society by being a good citizen.
Despite the promise of social mobility, Sally and the purple officials have been gatekeeping the higher tiers and have made it almost impossible to move up.
It is no longer enough to just simply be a citizen.
Thank you for listening to our daily broadcast.
And remember, when Earth 1 failed, Earth 2 prevailed.
Please stay safe and remain calm.
We will find a way to help you and break free from the lies.
Thank you,
and
good
good
night.
Hang on, Sage. I just got a notification. My contact is here. Mole? Mole, are you there? Can you let me and my new friend into the bullpen?
The what?
Get your ID number. Just pass me those.
Mole needs your ID number to screen you.
It's 11A011.
11A011. Don't worry, it's not a virus. You can click the link.
Hey, mute your audio.
But
just do it. So they can't listen to you anymore, kid.
They were listening to me?
Come on, the others are waiting.
This better be good, Miles. They'll miss me up in white. I can't be gone too long.
This is Sage. She's training with the engineers. She knows how the broadcasts work.
You brought a trainee here?
It's okay. She's cool.
Are you sure it's safe to have that many nicotine sims running at the same time?
I'm trying to quit, little girl.
Sorry. I don't know why I came here. Think I'd like to leave.
You haven't seen what I brought you here for. Will you play it, Frankie?
Or
Do you see? That's what life used to be like.
That's all real?
Sure is, kid. Those are the first real things you've ever seen. You want to nix him now?
it's out there, outside the pods. We just can't get out of this thing. Not even Mole knows how we wake up.
If we wake up.
Why don't they show us this stuff? The rendering is incredible.
It's not rendering, kid. It's real.
We can hold things, like, in our hands. Do you even know what it feels like to hold something in your hand, Sage?
I was born inside. I've never felt anything in my real hands.
Wow, that is just the saddest thing I've ever heard.
Don't you see, Sage? This is the world we used to live in. This is the world we're trying to get back.
But I just don't understand.
You don't have to. Not yet, at least. You'll come to understand everything eventually, but all you need to know right now is that we need you so that we can work together to restore life as it was and bring back our freedom.
I'm sorry. This is just a lot to take in. That world is nothing like the one I've known all my life. People, oh, I don't even know. Do things like that really happen?
Well, yeah, they did, until we were forced to be plugged in. Human beings aren't meant to be written in code, Sage.
We see what's really wrong with this life they designed for us. They make us think that living in a simulation is so much better than the cruel Earth One, but we know better than that.
So you see, we want to bring back the world that we used to live in, where people could live freely, express their love to one another, and experience things together.
With their real bodies and real smiles.
So, are you in?
Definitely.
All right, let's get to work.
Hey, Dad, how was your day today? It feels like it's been way too long since we've gotten a chance to talk.
Well, my department has been very busy with all of these glitches happening. Our numbers keep getting messed up, and it's been really, really stressful. But I'm really just glad to sit down with all of you.
Oh, I'm sorry, honey. That sucks, but hopefully we can get your mind off of it. Something funny happened in class today.
Lay it on me. I need a good laugh.
I'm not an idiot. I know the students often private message each other during class, but today, one of the kids accidentally messaged the whole class something explicit.
Hey, that happened to me once. My friend was getting mad at our teacher, but she accidentally cursed my teacher out in the public chat.
Well, it's not fun to be on the other side of it.
You are an idiot, Ben. Let's choose a game so that I can
Hey
crush
now,
you.
Libby, don't talk to your brother like that. I'm absolutely gonna crush both of you.
In your dreams, old man. I'll pull up the Candyland sim.
Candyland again? We played Candyland last time you picked
Benny's
two.
thing to pick, Lib. He wants to play Candyland. We're playing Candyland.
Don't diss Candyland. Candyland slaps.
Fine, but I'm watching the news while we play.
Not too loud, honey.
I'll go first. Ooh, green. Move me forward, Benny.
Green isn't that far, Dad. No early
Welcome
lead for
back
you.
to the Global Associated News.
Whatever, Libs.
I'm
It's the
Gordon.
first round.
And I'm Riley.
Libby,
In
it's
a world
Candyland
marred by
time.
death and injustice, one golden man and a golden idea.
People of Earth 2.
Hold on.
Citizens of the Coalition,
turn
the
that up.
Capitol is feeding you their vicious lies.
Princess Lolly is
A
waiting.
nightmare.
That's
That became
my
the
students.
iron fist of the oppressors.
In a world marred by death and injustice, one golden man and a golden idea rose above the noise and confusion. This golden man's name was Noah, and this golden idea was one of glorious unification.
A battle has ended, but still the war rages.
It was his dream to unify all of Earth 2, those who come from all walks of life, under
We
one
live
collective.
in the shadow of the oppressors, but we must not be the oppressed.
It is through the glorious and generous actions of this great man that we are able to live in the face of certain destruction.
Wake up.
Praise
Wake
Noah.
up. Wake up.
For divinity.
Crowley!
The council is met, and they sent me as their voice. A child interrupted the broadcast this afternoon.
I know everything about that passes through my world.
There are no dark corners. The traitor's name is Sage. She hasn't run, and she isn't even hiding now.
From our records, she was a model citizen, the perfect child.
Yes, but she disappeared last night from the high school's detention room, code 1168438.
I thought there were no dark corners.
I didn't build any.
So what do we do? She's apprenticed with an engineer. We won't be able to keep her away. The council wants to eject her. Let her face the death of the old world.
No. Her pod is in 2B, just outside Washington. She wakes up there, she could take down the DC hub. We'd lose the entire first sector.
So what do you suggest?
Eject her, but leave the stimulator in her prefrontal cortex. She'll drown in her pod.
That's murder. She's only a child.
She's a threat.
The council will never approve it.
The council? The council is where engineers like you go to die. You have no real power. This is my world. I've cut off her air. She'll be running around like a chicken with her head cut off until her body shuts down. She's as good as dead. It won't be more than 3 minutes now.
Her divinity?
You may see yourself out. Sally.
Yes, your divinity.
Why are you crying?
She was Esther's daughter.
She was a traitor.
Yes, your divinity.
There will have to be a broadcast. We'll announce that Sage was sent to a correctional facility, and then we'll never say her name again.
What do we tell Esther?
I'm sure she'll see the broadcast. You may go.
Mole,
Yeah,
send me to the bullpen.
you got it, Sage.
Oh my god! What's happening to you?
I'm dying, Frankie.
What can we do?
Nothing. There's no saving me now, but I need one last broadcast.
Hang on. I'll enter your codes.
Hurry, please. I don't think I have much time.
There.
People of Earth 2, I'm speaking to you in my last moments. Your divine leader has cut me out of his world. Once I was his perfect creation, his golden child. I was the first baby born in the simulation, and I am its worst nightmare. Written in my DNA are the codes that can override this false world. And I was hoping to share these codes with you, but I am out of time. Please, make my death mean something. Wake up. Wake up. Wake up.
I hope whoever sees this will finally be able to just stop this virtual world and bring our society back to normal. It hasn't been the same since my mom.
I tried figuring out this world, but it's so isolated. I wonder if I was better off in my apartment surrounded by my family and friends.
My best friend Alyssa never showed up. I've tried talking to Sally about it, but she said that I'm lucky.
I'm lucky that I have people to turn to and talk to every day. And I care about them so much, but I miss seeing strangers.
It's been so many years now, and I'm starting to get tired of all the silence. I guess I can play white noise and music in my room, but it's not the same as the car honks and the buses.
My family may have not accepted my identity, but being with them is better than being trapped.
Mom says it's time to go. We didn't finish our game.
Can't believe what we've done. I joined Earth 2 to help people, but after the testing, I realized...
I can't believe I'm finally going to be free. Yes, Earth 1 failed, but Earth 2 did not prevail.
All of my work is shutting down.
So many years.
It's shutting down.
I'm starting to get tired.
I've been thinking about it for 15 years. You said it felt fake. It's all fake.
Sage and Miles and all the students. Trinity and Hope.
I hate the papacy.
It's horrifying. What will it take for people to understand that we need to escape? We became worse than the thing that we sought to destroy. And we hate the papacy. I'm terrified of taking these walks as it's time to go. We didn't finish our game. Walks as it's time to go.
I never got to know Sage that well. But I feel like, I'm the one that got her wrapped up in all this. I told her that things would be better after everything had passed, and now she's gone. We got to go live our lives like they were meant to be lived. Outside the simulation, we got to just start over. We need to do it for Sage. We owe that to her. In one final act of devotion, I've managed to find a copy of the code that Noah stored inside Sage. This code can destroy the system and allow us all to wake up. With one click of a button, we can end this all and take our chances out there in the real world. So let's wake up.
I'll set fire to the whole place. I don't even care about our house. It's not the same in here since he left anyways. Always said I was a good kid. Always said I had a way with words. Never knew I could be speechless. I don't know how I'll ever break this curse. Now the world is only one of
Wow. It's the milk collection debate. I better turn on the TV.
Drinking milk is not a crime. The radical anti-milkers would have you believe that drinking milk kills cows. This is simply not true. Cows that go unmilked for 2 weeks can explode with the force of 7 suns. Furthermore, milk isn't just for drinking. The new milk color movement is all the rage in France. The possibilities for milk are endless. Wake up, sheeple. Do not let the radical anti-milkers tell you what to believe.
Wow. I am convinced. I'd better vote for milk this year.
Well, look here. These milk enthusiasts are spreading nothing but lies. Why would you force yourself to drink the vile cow juice concoction that dairy lovers now call milk? Think about the process. You are extracting a thick, white substance from the body of an animal, and then you decide to drink it? How disgusting. Now, picture this. Almond milk. The amount of nutrients and proteins that you can get from almonds are astounding. As a people, I believe we should switch to the beauty known as almond milk.
Wow. I have never heard such wiser words in my life, but who do I choose? Milk, almond. I'm gonna stick with milk.
Well, as the third party candidate, I believe in the power of cheese. While both my fellow candidates have good ideas, my idea, sorry if this is a little cheesy, we should make America great again. Eliminating the production of all foods and drinks in the nation and survive solely on the power of cheese. Now, cheese Louise, your cheddar off with me. I leave you with this. Bree you. And remember, in case of emergency, vote me, because I'm a monster, hell of good politician. Thank you.
Ew. Sorry. Sorry. Ew. I'm sticking with milk.
Woo! Let's go, baby.
2042, somewhere in the Midwest. Martha knocks on the door, and Ma opens the eye hole.
Who are you, kid? We don't take in kids.
Oh, I'm looking for Samantha.
Samantha. I haven't heard that name in years. They call me Ma.
Well, look, Ma, I'm here on a quest to figure out what the F in JFK stands for.
The F in JFK? Believe me, kid, you don't want to know.
Oh, but I do, miss. The White House sent me. This information is the only thing that can save the country.
Were you followed? Is anyone else here?
No, ma'am, it's just me.
The word itself inspires bloodlust. I heard it on the 6th floor of the Texas School Book Depository with my friend Lee. It was the day the president died, and Lee died soon after. If only I hadn't heard it.
Heard what? What is it?
Fortnite.
Martha's eyes go red, and she immediately shoots Ma in the head.
That's why I stay strapped, bitch.
Thank you. See?
Bingo, you're muted.
Bingo, you dumbass, you're muted. You're on mute.
Guys, I think I was muted the whole time.
Oh, Bingo, you're such a silly goose.
All right, guys. Enough chit-chat. Let's pull out my original composition, Yellow Simulation.
Well, I'm not sure I'm familiar with that.
Oh, you're gonna get real familiar with it soon. My fellow Cookie Monsters, are we ready to rock?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
A 1, a 2, a 1, 2, 3, 4. We all live in a yellow simulation, a yellow simulation, a yellow simulation. We all live in a yellow simulation.
Bingo?
Bingo!
Well, what's wrong, guys? I thought we sounded great.
Well, you
were playing the wrong song.
What do you mean? I was playing our original song, Scrub-a-Dub-Dub, 30 theater students in a tub.
We don't have a song called Scrub-a-Dub-Dub, 30 theater students in a tub. That's a stupid name that shouldn't be used for anything. Now, can we please get back to yellow simulation?
Yeah, let's try it from the first chorus again.
A 1, a 2, a 1, 2, 3, 4. We all live in a yellow simulation, a yellow simulation.
Wait. Sorry, guys. I messed up.
How did you manage to do that?
Well, it's a hard song.
You're the bass player, Ro. You play one note, maybe two.
Yeah, which note did you mess up on? The first one or the second one?
Neither. I play more than 2 notes, guys.
Bingo.
Well, the second note's really hard, guys.
Why don't we pull up a song that Bingo knows?
Okay, let's play Got to Get You Into Earth 2.
Yeah, that song is
Great idea, Bingo. Let's pull it up.
Can I sing this time, guys?
No, absolutely not. You've messed up enough times today, and we can't afford to waste any more
I wasn't
time.
home. I took a part. I didn't know what I was trying. Another world where maybe I can see another kind of life. Ooh, and then suddenly I'm in here. Ooh, and I tell you I need you every single moment of my life.
Bingo, that's why we don't let you sing.
I thought you sounded
Don't lie to him, Paula. You'll give him confidence to try again.
Guys, we came here to record. Let's get on track.
Okay, you're right. Let's pull up simulation.
All right, Bingo, don't forget to record.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Simulation. Simulation. And I say it's alright. Simulation. It's been a long, cold life on Earth. Simulation, we'll live some long, happy years here. Simulation, simulation, and I say it's alright.
Wow. That was actually pretty good.
Yeah, I'm so proud.
I think that's a wrap. Bingo, you got that all right?
Yeah, I think we're ready to record.
Bingo!
And scene.
And scene.
Hi, everybody out there in live stream land. Hello. I'm so glad you were able to join us today for our encore presentation of Earth 2. I have members of the cast here who are going to turn on their cameras and prove to everybody that I'm not just alone in my Zoom room. Thank you, Ms. Brooks. Hi. Oh my gosh. Thank you guys so much. Oh my God. I forgot all about it, and watching it again, I got emotional again. You'd think I would be over it, but I didn't. I got emotional again. So those of you, I'm going to be looking at the YouTube chat and looking at you guys and pulling up things from Instagram. So it's a whole thing right now. But if you're out here in YouTube land and you have questions, put it in the YouTube chat and I will share it with our cast as I'm also letting people in. I'm actually going to make Becky co-host so you can start letting people in too. Thanks so much. Hi guys, welcome. Kaya and Charlotte in your masks and far away. Hi. So one of the questions that I got on Instagram from a couple folks was just, I don't think a lot of people, I mean, admittedly, none of you knew what devising theater was before we started doing this process. So maybe I'm gonna just kind of call on people, and then if you have stuff to add, let me know. But Carolyn Birch, since I'm looking right at you, what do you think people should know? What's the difference between devising theater and like working from like an original or a published script?
Well, my experience working from published scripts is there's always like pressure, I guess, to replicate something that already exists, and you're working from preconceived notions about what a show should look like or what a show should be. But in the Devised Theater project, you're literally left with nothing, and like you do it on your own. So that was my main experience with it.
Thank you. What about you, Noah? I'm coming to you because you've actually done 2 devised theater pieces, right? So tell us what how was this one different than the other one?
This one was a lot more fun because I mean, tons of vignettes. It was so much fun, and just being able to devise almost every single day was just so much fun, and the creativity was it was fantastic. And I mean, just being able to record it like kind of last second, and like having to do this, I think it has to be finished by like February-ish, and we finished the script by like mid-January. So that was cool. But yeah, I actually had a lot of fun with this one.
Awesome. Thank you. I'm going to go back to my gallery view so I can see everybody. So as I shared that kind of little glimpse at what the devising process was, I hope it refreshed your memory for some of the writing exercises and stuff that we did during the process. I'm going to ask you, a few of you, to share your favorite moment that didn't make it into the show. So the favorite kind of vignette or your favorite exercise, or even like, film to share that didn't make it into the final product. I'm going to start with Emily, and then maybe I'll go to Lucy and Rashad. Emily, what do you got?
I don't have like a thing off the top of my head that like I wish ended up in the show, but like one of my favorite practices of like a writing thing that we did was you told us to go grab like an object that had some sort of like sentimental meaning or something like that, and then like write like a story about it, and then we took like different people's stories and put them together, and like I thought that one was just super cool, and like at the end I was just like always really happy with like what came out of it. So yeah.
Awesome. I love that some of the prompts I created off the top of my head actually worked. Lucy, what about you? What's something that you wished? You were also with us when we had that hit the wall moment, so if you want to talk about the hit the wall moment.
Yeah, no, there was definitely a point in winter break where we were all just like very overwhelmed, because like coming up with an entire creative like show was really hard, and obviously it was winter break, so people were off in winter break, and at times there were only like 7 of us at like trying to write the script, so that was like a lot of weight to bear. But some moments I liked that weren't in the show probably came from just our initial like brainstorms. Like we originally were thinking about doing a kind of detention like Breakfast Club-esque scene, and I know that like that was kind of written, and I think that was a cool idea, and that the script ended up being pretty good, so I enjoyed that. And then also just some of the prompts, we played with fairy tales, and that was super fun too. So yeah.
Awesome. Thanks, Lucy. Rashad, I'm coming to you just because we saw just the littlest glimpse of something that you did quite frequently in our rehearsals, was just grace us with some, virtual life. So what was that like for you?
Yeah, so it was a long time ago, so I can't pinpoint anything other than the filters, but I did use a lot of filters and they were fun. I think they made everyone laugh in rehearsals, and kind of on the hard days when we were hitting a wall, we couldn't really think of anything, or days where everyone was stressed. It really made everyone laugh and smile and put a smile on everyone's face. So I think that was great.
I agree. It was not distracting at all. And thank you for only doing it during rehearsals and not during class. I'm gonna come talk to you real quick, Jeremy, because you were, even though this is an ensemble piece and everybody had their hand in it, I think we know Jeremy kind of had this brainchild with the concept. So Jeremy, one day we're just exploring stuff, and then the next day you have like this amazing outline. Can you, like, I don't even think I asked you this in the time, like, where did this inspiration come from? Oh, I can't hear you. We can't hear you. Oh no. Hold on.
Hey, wow.
Your internet. Okay.
I think I'm
now I can hear you. Mm-hmm.
Cool. So the idea actually came from, there was a scene with Jonathan and Catcher when Catcher shot Jonathan in the head. That was an amalgamation of different things that we wrote, but the thing that I wrote that was put into that was in this like post-apocalyptic world. And then that inspired the thought of like post-apocalyptic Zoom. And then it was Thanksgiving break, and we all had to do just like an individual, like make something up over the break. So then I put together that whole outline and came back and we did it.
Awesome. And I think we all just immediately was like, yes, this is kind of an amalgamation of all the stuff we've been working with, and it felt really like fitting. I'm gonna come to some other faces. I actually don't know the answer to this. So Daniel Solomon wants to know, there seems to be some hidden meanings behind some of the names, and I actually don't know where the name Sage came from or any of that. So Marin, were you involved in that? If not, you can call somebody else out.
I mean, we kind of were working on just character development, and with that, we chose names that kind of embodied how we wanted the characters to be. So like Miles means soldier because he was gonna be someone to really help start the rebellion. And then Sage, there are a couple names that we chose that meant golden because her idea was started as like the golden child and the prophet and the rebel child. And then I looked this up at some point. I think Esther meant like Jewish queen or something like that, so it had a very like regal sense to it. So I think we just chose names pretty much that embodied how we wanted our characters to be portrayed in the stories that we wanted to tell with them.
Awesome. And I am just going to, instead of typing this in, Rashad, can you tell Catcher he has to be an authenticated user, and I can't fix that at the moment. Thanks so much. Cool. I knew that there was some hidden meaning. Eden, you have one of the most controversial lines, I think, in our story, and it wasn't so controversial at the time, but how does it feel to be talking about the papacy, RIP?
I feel kind of honored to be the one that was given the opportunity to say such an important line as that was, to be honest. And yeah, it was kind of like a one in a lifetime thing because now they're over. So I guess no one else will ever get to say that line.
So I just have a quick question for you, Eden. Do you feel any responsibility for their demise, since you were responsible for, basically slandering them across multiple platforms?
I mean, I think I take like credit for being like their number one hater. So I guess that kind of was a part of it. I don't really know.
Fair enough. Katie, your character had a fun little arc, because your character's on a building. Tell me kind of the journey that your character went on.
Well, initially she started as an AI, which was like a really interesting thing that happened, and then we decided that like we wanted her to have this like I guess emotional journey where she kind of realizes that what she's doing as the newscaster is wrong, so it would be more effective for her to not be an AI. But yeah, it was a really interesting, I guess, like journey she went along, realizing that like this thing that she's doing like is not actually a good thing.
Yeah, I think we ultimately decided it was more good to like watch a real human go through emotions than an AI try to emulate them. Catcher, are you here? Where are you, buddy?
I am walking in the dark. Joe is 6 feet apart from me, and so is Greg.
Okay, great. Hi, everybody. Real quick before, just while we have you, facial hair, real or no?
It was 100% real. I grew it for the show.
Great. So I'm just going to go ahead and say lies.
Okay,
But
it
we all
wasn't.
know that.
It was a half truth.
Okay, fair enough.
Like, it was the actual physical computer putting the beard on my face, but it
Right.
wasn't real in the sense that like I didn't grow the beard.
Mm-hmm.
Understood?
Yeah, barely, but yeah. I'm gonna come talk to Nikki. And maybe let's see, I want to talk to Nikki, Alana, Almara, maybe Nicolette. Talk to me about dancing for Devise. What was it like? What was the challenges of like trying to choreograph in this space and all of that? So I don't know who wants to speak first. Nikki, go for it.
Okay. Yeah. So I think we should start with the whole journey. When we first started, we just started with improv, and I enjoyed it because I was challenging myself to actually dance within my own room, which is less space than I normally dance with at home. And it just felt really good. One thing I like to do a lot is actually go on my head, and in my own room, I can do that. And then when we actually got to choreographing, it came down to just really pushing to get stuff done. And I think I should let Almara or Alana discuss the difficulties we had in making decisions.
Awesome. Thanks, Nikki.
Yes. Well, it was definitely very difficult to choreograph through Zoom, just because it's a lot harder to tell which way right is, exactly how much space everyone has. But it was very interesting to choreograph with that in mind, especially like figuring out how to work inside of the box. Like we had a really cool section where we were really close to the camera, where we were just banging.
Yeah,
And it was
that's my
just really
favorite.
interesting to just see that instead of just some actual dancing, just the movement and how it portrays what we want to say.
Awesome. Almara?
Yeah, I think another thing we faced was a lot of the people who were like spearheading the choreography part of this project were more of dancers than some of the other people in our cast. So we had to make sure that we weren't making the dance too difficult to teach to people who don't consider themselves dancers over Zoom.
Yeah. That's always a challenge. I mean, I've never choreographed over Zoom, but I would assume that's always a challenge when doing so. Nicolette, do you have anything to add?
I think everything was pretty captured. Kind of like Alana was saying, we wanted to keep like everything in the box to kind of like really play up that this is a virtual world. It's not really real, but we also wanted to add some dancey stuff within that box. And I came to like the choreographing a little later than some people, so they already had stuff. And I know when doing our section specifically, we looked for like motifs. So like one of the things I worked on with Marin originally was the sign language for Earth 2, which people might not have caught, but this is Earth 2 in sign language. So we definitely tried to add that in little pieces to show little hints to all the stuff we've referenced in the show. So I thought that was really fun.
Yeah, I love that part. Thank you for bringing it up. I think that's awesome. I have a question for, well, I'm just going to say, hey, Kay and Charlotte, how are you doing? That's my question for you.
Hey, we're doing good.
Yeah, seniors. So the Earth 2 is your last show at San Mateo High School.
That's okay. I don't need to know. I'll forget. It's okay.
Besides minis, you got minis. You got minis. What was this process like?
Do you want to go first, Charlotte? Sure. Obviously, it's not what I expected for my senior year. But I would just like to say, like, I'm very grateful that it happened because I found like we were able to have that way to connect with, you know, everyone else who's in theater at school for our last time to like do theater in high school, because I love everyone here. So getting to like still do it with the people I know and I appreciate was really great.
Yeah, like to kind of add on to that, to be able to still like continue theater even through this time was like a really nice escape. And I got to do it with such a fun group of people. And like over the summer when we were like thinking about our senior year, I didn't imagine having any theater at all, and that really made me sad. And then here was an outlet, and it was just so amazing to have.
Thank you, girls. And now I'm going to come over. I have a question for you, Abe. Yes, you, Abe. How does it feel to, you know, be, well, I was going to say have some toxic masculinity, but tell me about Gordon.
Oh yeah, no, I was like preparing for this. Yeah, no, I hate him. He is the worst type of person. I don't like him as a person.
Well, how was it playing somebody so different from who you are?
It was interesting. I dipped my toes into it and then I ran away. I don't like that much.
Fair enough. And then I do have one question for Adam Hill. Oh, well, where are you? Oh, there you are. Hi, Adam. Daniel has a question for you, and I actually want to know. So the inspiration for your portrayal of Noah. Any thoughts?
You know, it's fascinating that someone should ask this, because a couple months ago, when we first did the show, I was haunted by a terrible nightmare that I had to do a press conference. People liked it so much that they were like, "Oh my God, we got to talk to everyone." And obviously it happened tonight. So maybe nightmare was a poor choice of words, but that's beside the point. So in my dream, I prepared this statement, and this is what I'm going to say now. As an actor, a good rule is always trust your gut, always go with your instinct, what your heart tells you to do. And so for this show, which is so unlike any other show I've ever had to do before, I decided that I would turn that little rule on its head and take every single instinct I had and do the exact opposite. I was told by the costume directors that they wanted me to wear a suit and a bowler hat to look like the Monopoly Man. And so I thought to myself, what is the complete opposite of that? And I wore a Hawaiian shirt and shorts and sat on a yoga ball. So yeah, the inspiration was just to kind of do it wrong, do everything that I shouldn't have done. And I've never really gotten the chance to do that in a show before. So that was really fun.
Do you think it worked?
I mean, no, but I wouldn't change it if I could go back.
I don't know. There's something to me a little sinister about the complete lack of evilness in your portrayal. You know what I mean? It almost feels a little bit more sinister. Becky, you have a nice character development as well. Also, I believe that you and Emily in real life are quite close friends. And so when you had to kind of be like snotty to her and just, I mean, I'm sure you loved every moment of it. What was it like having this, kind of tell me about the relationship that your character had with Esther and that your character kind of had as their journey?
Yeah. So Sally was obviously super like stuck to the rules. She wanted to do everything right. She wanted to please Noah and Crowley and all of these people that were counting on her to run this simulation. And I think with Esther, also Sally sort of lacked humanity. She just wouldn't express it. And I think that with Esther, you see the relationship that she has with Sage. And I think Sally really wanted that. She really wanted a relationship. And we see that in like one of the last scenes and how she feels terrible when the Sage gets pulled from the simulation. So I think that Sally in some ways was definitely envious of Esther and the way that Esther had this relationship with a daughter and had someone to connect to, which I think Sally didn't really have.
Awesome. Thank you. And then I have a question coming in about the transitions with the choreography were so interesting. What inspired that? And I guess I'll answer that since I'm the one who did them. Doing devised theater, generally when I've devised before, there's a lot of movement. Do I have to do speaker view on myself? Yeah, probably. Normally there's a lot of movement, and we didn't have an opportunity to have a lot of movement like sprinkled throughout, but we had this epic movement section at the end. And for me as a filmmaker, because apparently I'm a filmmaker now, I really felt like it needed to be a motif. We talked a lot about motifs. And so when the video started coming in of this amazing movement, I was like, awesome, this is going to be the transitions. This is going to be just this kind of surrealistic element that connects all of these little vignettes. Because as we talked about, the vignettes were kind of how we were writing things. And it just looks so cool. And so layering them on top of each other was a way to make it so that way they weren't quite so obvious what it was. And I didn't want to give anything away, but just wanted to kind of have a little foreshadowing for that. Also, it was just really fun to stay up for hours and do this and ignore my family. I'm going to come to you next, Alistair, because I don't know if you know this. I don't think I ever told you this, but you have my favorite line in the whole show. Do you know which one I'm talking about?
Is it Princess Lolly is waiting?
That's one of them. But yeah, the way you say that too, so sassy. It's Candyland Slap.
Oh, okay. Yeah. That's a good one.
My favorite. Yeah, it's a good one. Did you write that?
No, I didn't.
But you embodied it so well, Alistair.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, don't just Candyland. Candyland Slaps. That was my favorite line. And it wasn't just because I had to edit that piece like over and over and it was just constantly repeated as I was going through the editing process. There was something about it that I just really liked. Thanks, Elmara. You also, when you were choosing what like roles you wanted to be considered for, this was like the only one you really wanted. Tell me about Benny.
I think that Benny really portrays like the willing ignorance of society. You know, like the media's on and yet he's like ignoring it and he like wants to focus on Candyland. And yeah, I think that was like really important to capture.
Yeah, I think you captured it well. I don't know that was supposed to be not an insult, but you captured it well. Okay. Does anybody have anything else? Yes, snaps for Benny. Did I get to everybody? Jonathan Hagen. Get over here. About the journey that you took in the writing process, because there was a lot of music happening at one point.
Yeah. So the whole, I don't know, we were doing like all those little like one like scene per rehearsal things, and I don't know, take some leads in those, and you could see some of the work I influenced in the like post credits thing. But it was really interesting because like when we got to winter break is when like we really started working on the actual like piece, and I got like super sick. Like I was like bedridden. So basically like I left the process like once we stopped doing like the little one-off scenes, and then I came back to a script. So I actually didn't have that much say in the like writing. But I mean, people
And do
did
you
a
want to
great job.
air
So.
your grievances about that? Do you have thoughts about did you change everything?
Oh yeah, the whole thing. Yeah. Yeah, start over. I don't know. Yeah, people did a great job, and well, I mean, I can't complain, right? I leave and I come back and I have a script and parts to seek, and yeah, good times.
Thanks, Jonathan. Did I get everybody else? I think I did. Okay. Cass, stick around. I'm going to turn off this live stream thing so we can like actually talk. Everybody in YouTube land, thank you so much for joining us. And thanks for this encore presentation. Have a great Friday night. Let me remember how to stop.